I get the hype. I can totally understand why so many people choose to move to Dubai. Having spent a few days here now and seen the many different fabulous aspects of living here that Dubai has to offer, such as unparalleled luxury, a diverse amount of things to see and do, it's very safe, it's very clean, and unless you're a corporation in very specific circumstances, there's 0% income tax. Obviously, all of those things sound very attractive, and they are. I would absolutely come back here and, spend more time here. But I now know with absolute certainty that this is not somewhere I would move to, and this is not somewhere where I would personally set up my business. So in today's video, I will be telling you guys why that is and kind of sharing my first impressions of being here in the city, as well as, of course, showing you some of the top attractions of the city. And to do that in a very unique way, I really want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is the Insta360 Go 3S camera. This is by far the tiniest camera that I have ever used. It is literally pocket-sized, basically the same as a lipstick, but it is super powerful, portable, and the perfect companion when you are on the go and want to shoot hands-free. Now it does mount on this action pod, which is really useful if you want to vlog on the go and be able to see yourself in the flip screen or adjust your settings. The camera is super easy to use and can shoot up to 4K footage, which is amazing for getting that high quality footage that can seamlessly blend in with the rest of your vlog or as a standalone. But personally, my favorite feature is the fact that it can be completely hands-free. All you have to do is put on this magnetic pendant that comes with the camera, put it underneath your clothes, pop off the camera from the action pod, and automatically the camera will magnetize vertically or horizontally on the pendant. Whether you want to use it for biking around the city, chowing down your favorite food, or simply because your hands are too busy but you still want to share the moment, it's all super easy with the Insta360 Go 3S. I also love that the camera comes with a lot of other attachments which make it easy to mount in a lot of usually challenging places, so you're able to get some very unique POVs that wouldn't otherwise be possible. The Insta360 Go 3S is also waterproof up to 10 meters, has gesture control that makes it super easy to take photos or videos, and you can also link it to Apple Find My app so you never have to remember where you left your camera. Right now, Insta360 is currently running their summer sale, so you can get 15% off the Insta360 Go 3S. Make sure you use my link in the video description and you will get an extra free gift with your purchase. So let's begin with the first, most obvious reason of why I personally would not move here, and that is the heat. I am baking like a rotisserie chicken, guys, and this is no joke. Like, I came to the beach this morning with every intention to actually go swimming, but after like 10 minutes, and I came in the morning, I came like at 8 a.m. thinking that, it's 29, it's 30-ish degrees, it'll be okay. No. As soon as I take off like this lovely linen shirt, I feel like my skin is on fire. Like, at the end of the day, I'm from Canada. I can actually handle -40 better than I can +40. So unfortunately, the weather, because it's like this basically 6 months of the year, and it gets worse and it gets worse. Like, July, August is supposed to be 50 degrees sometimes, and that is not for me. Now, outside of the absolutely sweltering temperatures for half of the year, the second biggest roadblock for me would be the cost of living. Obviously, this should come as no surprise, considering Dubai is a playground for the uber wealthy, where you regularly see cars worth $500,000 or handbags for tens of thousands. And while it is possible to somewhat live on a budget if you have roommates or live on the outskirts of the city, I still found it to be quite expensive when it comes to groceries, eating out, and all the basic utilities. For example, this fabulous breakfast cost me about $35 US, and that is kind of in the mid-range pricing.
You can easily have meals be $100 or more, and that's still kind of considered reasonable for the kind of people who live there. And to be honest, I don't want to live my life on a super strict budget, even if the trade-off is a really nice, luxurious city. I would rather live in a less luxurious place, but have a really nice lifestyle and not have to worry about my budget so much. To give you an example of how much the starting range of my ideal life in Dubai would cost, it would be approximately $6,000 a month. I live in a 2-bedroom now, but I would be willing to settle for a 1-bedroom apartment, kind of similar actually to this Airbnb that I was staying in on this trip. It was super spacious, well furnished, and is also in a great walkable location that is close to public transit. This apartment was near Dubai Marina, and even though it's a pretty touristy area, I did like it because it has this awesome pedestrian path where you can go running or biking, and all the amenities you need are right there. Food would also cost quite a bit because the groceries in these nice neighborhoods is way more than in the outskirts. Utilities like phone plans are quite a bit from what I heard, and if you are self-employed, you will have to cover your own health insurance or pay out of pocket. Obviously, when you're not paying taxes, you can't really expect the government to cover many social services. So could I afford to live in Dubai? Technically, yes. Like Dubai on a budget, let's call it that. I could afford Dubai on a budget where, sure, I could afford a 1-bedroom here in an okay location. It would not be a fancy building, and all of my other expenses I would have to watch so closely because coffees are freaking $10 a pop almost every time. And unfortunately, I don't see myself saving a lot of money. Like, that was the big reason of why I chose to move, to Bulgaria, is because I knew I could still live a nice lifestyle but still be able to put quite a bit of money away. But here in Dubai, with the amount of money that I'm making, at least right now, I would not have a lot in savings, even though, sure, you're not paying any, income taxes. But the startup costs, the startup cost to open your business here, to get the visa, it is quite substantial, I've heard, especially if you get a consultant. So in my opinion, the only time that Dubai really makes sense is if you're making a lot of money, like a lot of money in the hundreds of thousands, ideally millions. So then sure, you can get it all tax-free. And also very important is you liking the lifestyle. Like, can you handle, the weather here 6 months of the year? Are you okay with driving or getting ride shares, to most places? Do you like, the social groups that they have here? It is a bit more of a, flashier sort of lifestyle in many circles, but I'm sure, depending on who you meet, you could find everything here. So in my case, it just doesn't make sense. Plus, it is also quite far away from, all the other people that I like to visit with and the areas of the world that I really want to be in. So in my case, doesn't make sense. But if you are somebody who has a lot of money, you don't want to pay taxes, and you like the lifestyle here, then Dubai might be for you. I really couldn't ask for better as far as location goes here in Dubai for the price I'm paying. I mean, the metro stop is literally just outside my building, and there is like an escalator and an elevator, so it's not that bad, if you have a lot of luggage, because I certainly would not want to be sitting in the traffic that they have going on here. It really does come down to personal preference, I think. If you're the type of person like me who doesn't like to drive and prefers to take public transit, I find it's just less stressful, a lot of times a lot less expensive, and if it's
good public transit, it's usually a lot faster. But on the other hand, I know there are people who love to drive, who love cars, and you know, if that's you, then I guess getting a car if you lived here in Dubai would be great. I think the city in many ways is much more made for cars than it is the subway. Like, it is a big city, right? And there's only 50 stops, and it's more or less all on like the same plane, the same line. So if you live anywhere outside of that, it's going to be very, very difficult to get around without a car. If you are planning to take public transit quite a bit in Dubai, I would recommend getting one of their like transport cards, and then you just automatically like reload it at the ticket paying system, and depending on where you're going, it will adjust the cost. So overall my rides have been about 6 AED, which is around like $1.50 US, which overall I would say is quite reasonable. What I also really like about the metro here is that they do have a women and children only cabin. You know, not that I think much would probably happen here since there is really strict penalties against any sort of misbehavior, but if it makes you feel more comfortable, that is an option. Now, because it is so hot here in Dubai, basically like I'm here in May, and any time after 11 a.m. it's like 35 to 40 degrees. So it's really not pleasant to go outside for long. Obviously, most of your activities really should be, you know, indoors, and that's like one of the other big reasons of why I don't think I would enjoy living here year round. Sure, in the winter it would be amazing, but in the summer, like I don't want to just like stay indoors or go from like, you know, taxi to metro or whatever to get around. That's not really for me. But you know, in the short term it's obviously fine. So what is a super popular thing to do here in Dubai in the middle of the day? Go to the mall. This is honestly such a cool, I would call it an art piece. I know it's technically like a fountain, but this is just so cool and kind of trippy. Like, I don't know if you can get the same impression I'm getting through the camera, but I feel like a little dizzy and like we're in motion when I just stare straight ahead. Like, it feels like we are actually falling. Just such a beautiful installation, and you know, once again, within a mall. So another really interesting attraction that they have here in the mall is a literal aquarium, but not only that, they also have experiences for, you know, you to go scuba diving if you want to, or I guess like shark cage diving, lots of really unique things that I haven't seen anywhere else. So if I had more time, I would definitely be checking it out. But just around the back here, I'll have to head down a couple of floors. It looks like they have a bit of a, you know, precursor. They have some kind of tank that I saw people swimming in, so I'm gonna head down and check it out. Wow, this is incredible. This tank is absolutely enormous and has so many different kinds of fish and coral, and I swear when I was up there I actually did see a scuba diver in here, so I assume it's people who work here, but still very, very impressive. So this is Awani, guys. Super gorgeous restaurant. And what I really wanted to order here is this really beautiful, like, mixed mezza tray, as they call it. You can choose, like, you know, 7 different options and, you know, taste a little bit of their whole menu. And it looks really, really good. Now, I know some of you will judge me if you caught that this is actually an appetizer platter for 4 people. I don't care, guys. I wanted to try everything, and if I would have ordered just like 2 regular sized dishes, it would have more or less been the same price. So I may as well freaking order the whole platter, which, all things considered, isn't stupid expensive. It's like 110 AED, which I think is about like 30-ish US dollars. Like, compared to the prices that I have seen in other restaurants, that's not completely insane, and you do get a lot of food. I want to try everything. Don't judge me. The only thing that sucks is I forgot my mic, so you're gonna have to tell by my facial expressions if I liked everything. Maybe you can hear me when I do this. I just don't want to like shout over the music that they have here. But so far, everything is really, really good. This is interesting. Something that I don't think I've tried before is kibbeh. It's a type of like ground meat with brains. So let's try this. Just very soft, like very finely ground. Really, really like it. You can tell that it's super fresh. So this is, I actually don't know what this is, so let's try it. This also has some kind of like meat filling. Kind of actually reminds me of like our Ukrainian pirashki, if you guys have had those before. I've never had anything like this before in the Middle East, but really, really nice. We have something over here that looks like spring rolls, but I don't think it is. Let's see. Well, that was a nice surprise. This is like some kind of cheese stick or something. This is really, really good. And last but certainly not least, we have these huge cheese balls. So I'm gonna break off. Oh, I thought this was the cheese balls. Maybe that was the cheese sticks. I can't remember now. There were so many things. But there is some kind of meat and maybe cheese in this. So let's give it a try. Very good. I don't know what I'm eating. I'm gonna have to put it on the screen, the names of everything. But I can tell you guys right now, I regret nothing. This was such a great decision. I'm so happy with this restaurant as a whole. Very delicious food. And like I said, for Dubai, like, I have freaking paid $35 for Eggs Benedict, and it was not this much food, so all things considered, this is a really good deal. And now, the moment that I'm sure at least some of you have been waiting for. the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa. Now, I actually had a lot of people ask me if I was, going to go up this incredible structure. Like, it really is magnificent. Just looking at it, in a picture is one thing, but seeing it close up, it looks amazing. But since I'm not here on any kind of sponsored tourist trip, I don't know if I want to spend 100 of my own, or even more. I think it's actually more than $100 to go to the very top of it. And I say that because I have read so many negative reviews from people, who did, and I actually had a friend who did, and she said, don't do it. I trust her judgment more than anything. She said that, while it's incredible to look at from the bottom, once you're up there, even though it's really high, she said it wasn't that awe-inspiring, and especially considering the price. So what I'm going to do instead is take you guys to a far more reasonably priced, beautiful view observatory. Of course, it's not as tall as the Burj Khalifa, but it's still supposed to be spectacular, and you also then get a view of the Burj Khalifa. This is crazy. I mean, definitely worth the price, I will say, because it's also great that the glass is super clear. I have been to a lot of, sky towers in my day all around the world, and it bugs me so bad when they don't have the best quality glass, that you get weird reflections, or it's just not super clear. Here it is perfectly clear, and you do get such an amazing view. How fun does this look, guys? I have never seen a glass slide with an observatory, kind of view. Of course, they don't let you bring any kind of camera or phone with you. They take a picture of you as you're going down, but luckily I have something that is hands-free. Well, that was a much shorter ride than I was expecting, but it was still pretty cool. And like I said, I've never seen any kind of observatory that had a glass slide. So, for $6, it's worth it. It's such a shame that the fountain isn't working, guys. Like, this whole area, not that it isn't already spectacular on its own, but I can totally imagine that with the fountain going, it is just on another level. But to be fully frank with you guys, I am really glad that I finally came here, because I didn't really have a strong pull to come here for a long time. I didn't think this would really be, you know, a city that I would genuinely, you know, like. I did think it would be too superficial, if that makes sense. But now that I've come here and experienced even just a taste, I do get the hype. I do understand why people move here, and in certain, you know, cases, it really does make a lot of sense. So I hope you guys enjoyed this first impressions video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Once again, a very big thank you to Insta360 Go 3S. What a fabulous little camera. I'm gonna have a link in the description so you guys can check it out. And as always, I am sending you so much love. I hope you guys are having a fabulous day, and keep being your own kind of beautiful. Bye guys.